This is my Aunt Debbie, and I am going to interview her today about her special needs child. Okay, the first question I'm going to ask her is, what is the name and age of your child?
His name is Frankie Lozano, and he is 30 years old, and he has Down syndrome. I really don't think that Frankie even knows he has a disability. Truthfully, I mean, we all know that, Frankie has this, but I don't think he does know that he has it because of the way that he has been brought up. He is brought up to be just like everyone else. And so I don't think he even realized that there's anything wrong with him.
What is Down syndrome?
It is caused by an extra chromosome in his genetic makeup.
Okay. Were you aware of genetic disorders before giving birth?
Well, I was aware of other people that had children that had disorders, but myself, no, I was not aware that he was going to have Down syndrome. At first, when he was born, the doctor that I was seeing in the hospital wanted me to put him in, I guess there are places, homes for people, children with disabilities, because I was only 18 when I had Frankie. And at the time that I had Frankie, I also had a 1-year-old. And I think that the doctor thought that having a child with a disability along with a young child at home, a toddler, was going to be too much for me. So they wanted me to put him into a home. And I said, no, he's going home with me.
What type of medical problem does your child have as a result of his genetic disorder? Does it cause any disabilities like intellectual, emotional, physical?
Yes, to a point. There's like, when he was younger, he would get sick a lot more than other children because of his immune system. But I think on every one of those, there's certain levels that, that does affect him. But he doesn't have extreme, like, levels like that. They're not really high. They're just mild. So,
What kind of help did you seek to help your child?
a lot. So the services actually came to me when he was 3. The school approached me, which was called Panda. It was Panda School, and he started going to school when he was 3. And he's been in school since then until he graduated from high school.
What support do you mostly rely on? What has helped your child the mostly? Family, support groups, teachers? What kind of help did your support system provide you?
Actually, all of the above. Family mostly, yes. And his school, his teachers, they all have a hand in helping with Frankie, to make him who he is today. Help with, educating him and teaching him and just making him, the person that he is now, which is, he's fun. He's just a great person to be around.
Why is it important for other people to be aware of your child's special needs?
Because I feel like Frankie teaches without even knowing that he's teaching. There's people in this world that have no idea what it is to have a child with a disability, and they take things for granted. And just getting to know someone that has a disability, they could just teach you that the most simplest things are the most important things. For him, he just takes the simplest things. Sitting, watching a movie or just sitting talking with him, you'll learn that his cares are so simple compared to other people's where they're not. And he just teaches us every day that, just be you.
What type of academic experience has your child had in school?
Academic. Well, I mean, he's been through different programs since he started school at 3. As far as he was put in resource classes, but then he was also put into regular classroom with the regular kids. But that just depended on him and how everybody else, he reacted and the other kids reacted with him also. So, but he was into sports, Special Olympics for many years. In his academics, well, I think it was limited to what he could do in the classroom.
Was your child ever placed in any special education program?
He was always in a special academic class, all through school. That was what he needed for him to grow and to get further in order to graduate.
When your child attended school, how often did you meet to talk or interact with your teachers or caregivers? What type of things did you discuss in your IPE meetings?
We would talk about, it was probably in school, I can't remember, I think it was monthly to 3 months, depending on Frankie and his development, and if he needed more assistance. But the things that we talk about were different goals for him, either living skills, life skills, academic, all those things that make, to make him better, to make him grow. But yeah, it was every month, and then every 3 months we would get together with his teachers, which he had physical therapy, he had occupational therapy, he had all those things that, that we all worked together as a team for him.
How comfortable did your child feel when interacting with other peers at school?
Oh, very. Yeah, he's very likable and very social, and but sometimes that was not good for Frankie because some people could take advantage of that, his innocence to that. But yeah, he never had any problem with that.
Does your child receive any other services after aging out of the special education program?
Yes, from high school, after graduating, he went into the program from developmental disabilities. It's called Gompers, and he works there, and he does piecework. And he's been there for almost 5 years, and he's very well liked and loved there, and will continue to be there for as long as they want him to be there, and he wants to be there himself. That's most important, that Frankie is comfortable and that he wants to be there.
Has your child ever held any jobs throughout his life?
Yes, he did. They did try having him work at Walmart through Gompers, but that didn't work out for Frankie. So he now works at Gompers in the facility of Gompers, within their facility.
Being a parent to a child with special needs can often come with additional challenges and responsibilities. What are some challenges and difficulties that you had to face?
Well, just a constant challenge for me and for my family is to make sure that Frankie is safe and that he, is taken care of properly, health-wise, and just for him to be all around just happy.
What are your child's strengths? What does he enjoy doing?
Well, he enjoys music, movies, interacting with family, loves to be around family. He just loves hanging out He really does. I mean, we have a great time with him. Everyone does when he's around. So he's like the life of the party.
Does your other children, did they ever view him differently?
Um, you know, yes and no. As you know, he has his younger brothers and he has one older brother. But growing up, like I said, we kept everything as normal as possible. You know, he was always just one of the kids. But the kids, his brothers grew to understand that their brother, he was a little different. But as long as we kept it as normal as possible, me and his father, you know, his dad, he was just like anybody else. They really couldn't, they didn't see that, you know, in him. Yeah.
What advice would you give to other people who have a loved one that receives a diagnosis similar to your child?
Well, for me, my advice would be just to treat him or her just as normal as you would treat anybody else. You want your child to be treated like you would want to be treated. And I think that's really most important. You know, you got to keep that feeling around all the time. That's why I feel like Frankie doesn't even realize, you know, that there is anything wrong with him. Well, to me, there's nothing wrong with him. He's my child, but I mean, yeah, you know, you just love them and you help them in any way that you can. And I think that with that, they just grow, you know, and they'll learn and they'll do it, whatever, you know, it is that they're going to do in life.
What do you enjoy most about your child?
Everything. There's nothing I would change, and I say that to a lot of people, you know. Once you meet him, if you will know that, you know, I would, you know, have 10 of him over, and the way he views life is just as normal as can be, you know. I would in my eyes, he's perfect.